Welcome to EdLeader with your host, Dr. Rob Jackson. Join Dr. Jackson for conversations and reflections on improving educational leadership from the classroom to the boardroom and beyond. Educational leadership is an ever-evolving opportunity to make a real and lasting difference in the lives of students, parents, and the community. And now, here's your host, Dr. Rob Jackson.
Hi, friends. Welcome to another episode of EdLeader. I'm your host, Rob Jackson, and I want to thank you for the tremendous reception this podcast has received. The exponential growth of listeners and subscribers demonstrates how important educational leadership is and the commitment that ed leaders just like you have to their own growth. If you enjoy the episode, please take a moment to leave a review and subscribe on your favorite podcast player to help continue to grow the EdLeader community. I'm excited to sit down today with a transformational leader whose vision for the work of educational leadership is to ignite the limitless potential of students, teachers, administrators, schools, and the school district, bringing key community leaders to the table and uniting them around a common vision is paying incredible dividends. Don't miss his 4 principles of transformational leadership. I promise they'll make a difference. Let's get to it. Today's guest was sworn in as the Superintendent of Durham Public Schools in 2017. Since that time, student academic progress and school performance have both increased, while the district strengthened its commitment to equity, inclusion, and the social-emotional health of the whole child. The Durham community took notice, with Durham Public Schools enrollment growing in the 2019-2020 school year by more than 500 students. Our guest has enjoyed a successful career in public education spanning over 20 years. Prior to serving in Durham Public Schools, he served as a superintendent in Franklin County. He also served the state with the Department of Public Instruction as a district transformation coach and as a school transformation coach. Previously, he was a high school principal and served as a math teacher at the middle school level. He earned his Ph.D. from Capella University, has a master's in secondary education degree from Liberty University, and a Bachelor of Science in Mathematics from Shaw University. He's also served as an adjunct professor and is the author of several peer-reviewed articles. Please allow me to introduce to you, my friend, the Superintendent of Durham Public Schools, Dr. Pascal Mubenga. Dr. Mubenga, thank you so very much for joining us today. I appreciate you, buddy.
Thank you, Dr. Jackson, for having me here today.
Years ago, I remember the first time that you walked into a superintendent's meeting, and as you walked into the room, you had this big smile on your face, and all these years later, you're still smiling and just seem to be someone who's filled with joy and happiness. What is it in your life or in your experience that keeps you so joyful?
Thank you, Rob, for that particular question. You're not the first person giving me that remark. I'm always a joyous person. I like to smile. And even though in the middle of a pandemic, in the middle of crisis or challenges, and I think the best thing I can do is just smile.
Absolutely. You know, as leaders, it seems to me that when the superintendent of the school system or the principal in the school building is smiling and happy, that it just gives everyone in the building the confidence that our leader has got this, and regardless of the crisis, we're going to be okay because the superintendent's still smiling, so we should be fine.
That's a good compliment, if I may say. I have my moment. As
Sure.
you all know, every leader, you have your own way of expressing yourself. And there are times I'll go to my office and I'll close my office and express myself, whatever emotions that I may have at that time. But I always like to project that hope in front of my staff. In the middle of crisis, I always like to project that hope that things are going to be okay. I have my own moments, and like I say, in my private moments, and I'll express myself as well.
And we all need to do that. We need to be able to go into our office, close the door, have those moments. And then when we open the door, we're smiling again and forward we go. So I appreciate that. Before our listeners, I would share with you, Dr. Mubenga is the superintendent of one of the largest school systems in the state of North Carolina, and really one of the largest school systems, I'm sure, in our country. He's in Durham Public Schools. And I'm just so delighted, Pascal, that you're spending some time with us, because as I look at what the school system has accomplished, particularly in the last 3 years under your leadership, I'm just absolutely blown away and so impressed and so appreciate all that you are doing and must be doing for the children of Durham County. For example, for our listeners, I would share with you that we just recently in our state received our cohort graduation rate. And the cohort graduation rate in our state measures the percentage of students who start ninth grade on day one and graduate right on time. And that graduation rate has improved in Durham. Your student academic scores are improving. Your school performance is improving. And for the first time in 4 years, and this just has to delight you, Pascal, for the first time in 4 years in the 1920 school year, your enrollment grew and grew by more than 500 students. That's got to be the ultimate compliment when parents bring their children to you. What's the secret of this success, buddy?
I always like to give credit to the people that I work with. I'm going to start with my teachers. We have amazing teachers in Durham Public Schools. Probably, if I can give more credit, is just the team efforts that we have with my cabinets and everybody in the central office and our school administrators, just everybody trying to be sync and singing in the same music sheets. That's what really make a difference. My role is pretty much simple, to be able to energize everybody and inspire everybody, and shooting for the one target, which is the mission of educating our students. I think once I do that really correctly, to be able to inspire folks, everything else is going to follow through. And we have amazing teachers. That's the credit. They deserve it, and they've worked so hard, and our students are excelling in Durham.
I tell you, and thank you for sharing that. And you're exactly right. We, particularly as ed leaders and administrators, we are nothing without the teachers who are doing the work of educating our children. And so the opportunity to serve the heroes that they are and all those who are working in our school system certainly is quite a blessing. As you kind of began the work, particularly as you were working on the strategic plan there in Durham Public Schools, which, by the way, is a model, certainly in our state. And for our listeners, if you're about to begin the strategic planning process, whether at the school level or the system level, I would highlight to you the strategic plan in Durham Public Schools as something you may want to Google and take a look at, because it's incredibly powerful and very well done. But one of the quotes attributed to you was this thought about ignite the limitless potential. Ignite the limitless potential. Tell us about that. What is that to you, Pascal, and why was it important for that message to be linked with the strategic plan?
Rob, let me say this. I spent over 30 years in the Raleigh area, so I'm very familiarized with the Triangle area. And I knew the potential that Durham has, even though it was really hidden for whatever reasons. I knew that just being there in the Durham, in the middle of a Triangle area, that we have all these businesses and we have a wonderful community. I knew there was something that was just missing. By igniting that, whatever was missing, we should be able to reach the full potential of our students. And that's how we came up with our vision. Very simple. We have to ignite this limitless potential that we have in Durham. Because I'm very familiarized with the area, because I spent over 30 years in Raleigh area. So it's happening, and it takes a village. Like I was preaching to my folks when I came to Durham, I said, look, it's going to take community effort to make sure that the DPS, the Durham Public School, is moving forward. And that's what we did, and that's why we're seeing this success. And I like to say this also, when I interviewed for this particular job, I told my board, look, I cannot lead a district without a blueprint, which is a strategic plan. I cannot do that. As you know, dealing with boards, and if everybody gotta have to pull different agendas and all that kind of stuff, it's gonna be really hard for us to be able to impact the life of these young folks. And my board, they grew with me. And when I came in, I hit the ground running. The first thing was pretty much assemble 52 folks, different stakeholders, community leaders and pastors of faith-based community, university professors at Duke, NCCU, Durham Tech, and all the politicians were around the table. And that's how we came up with this blueprint. It did not come from me. It came from these 52 folks that were around the table, brainstorming and having a vision. How can we make sure that all our babies are really learning? So I'm really excited. And I think we start seeing the results of this blueprint, and we're going to keep on excelling in Durham.
Pascal, how did you go about the work of getting those incredible leaders, the university folks, the faith-based folks, the municipal leaders? How did you go about getting those leaders around the table to really focus on Durham Public Schools?
Thank you, Rob, for that particular question. That was very strategic. As you know, you go to a new place. Even though I said I spent over 30 years in Raleigh area, but I did not know the function of the school district. I did not know the key players that impacted our Durham Public Schools. So there were some veterans folks that work in the district. They've been there for a while, and they were able to lead me, say, look, if you tap to this Duke University, you tap to these advocacy groups, or you tap to these politicians, those are the key people that you need to bring around the table. And I was able to listen to them, and I'm very grateful that they were able to direct me to the right people.
And that's such a powerful leadership practice, really, going into a new place, or even if you've been someplace for a long time, to listen to and to ask questions of the team we serve with. Sometimes leaders feel like we're supposed to have all the answers, and I don't think that's true at all. I think really we ask the questions, we encourage, we cheer along folks, but taking the time to ask the questions, particularly when you come into a new area, who should I talk to? And then I've heard it said that when we talk to that person, asking that person, who should I talk to? So we continue to build our own personal network for the good of the school system. Recently, the Hamilton musical came out. And incredible musical. I absolutely loved it. But there's one particular song where Aaron Burr is singing, and he says he wants to be in the room where it happens. But as superintendent, it seems like by nature of our position, we have the opportunity to be in rooms like this room that you're describing with these leaders from universities and the leaders from the elected leaders and all of the faith-based leaders. And in that room, because we're in the room, we have the opportunity to advocate for students. In terms of thinking through that opportunity, how do you approach that opportunity, and what does it mean to you to be able to be in the room with these leaders in the community?
Yes, that's a good question. I'll say this. This is my second superintendency. I was in another district prior to coming to Durham. Not every superintendency is the same. When I was in Franklin County, which is a little bit suburban area of Wake County, very different demographic. So to answer to your specific question, I was very vulnerable when I came to Durham. I was vulnerable because I did not want to bring my success from Franklin County to say, hey, look, I know what to do. I know how to move schools. This is going to be the blueprint. This is how we're going to do it. That was not my approach. My approach was pretty much simple. I'm here. We have great leaders in Durham that's been doing some phenomenal work, and I really want to bring them around the table. And we're not going to agree all the time. I'm telling you, one of the exercises that I did with them was to be able to come up with a core belief. I think with that particular exercise, we started by let everybody brainstorm. What do you want to see in DPS? What are your beliefs as far as student learning in general? And I led that particular activity. You can see out of these 52 folks, everybody have their own belief. Each one person came up with 5. Can you imagine 5 times 58? That's over 260. Then we led that activity to be able to shrink it to come to a good 5 to 10. We say, these are the core beliefs for DPS. It took a lot of exercise. It took a lot of humbling experiences to be able to say, yes, I was really holding on to this particular core belief, but I'm going to give it up because I want to join everybody so that we can come up with one for the district. So going from 5 from each person to a good 5 or 10 for the district, that was a good art of compromising. So I was really excited to see all these professors and all these politicians, all these business folks around the table to get to the point where we agree on this belief. And I think in general, you can say when you read our core beliefs, it's all about share responsibility and equity and things of that nature. So it took us really time to be able to come to a compromising point. And I was really excited.
Pascal, I can't tell you how that resonates with me when you start talking about this question, what do you believe? I absolutely believe it's crucial for every educator, every ed leader to really know what they believe and to be able to operate from that belief. And then for us to have shared core beliefs as a group in a school system or as a group in a school allows us to move forward, because beliefs lead to expectations lead to achievement. And so that belief piece has to come first. And so I very much appreciate you sharing that. The results speak for themselves. There's no question, as you talk about the core beliefs of Durham Public Schools, that those are really coming to light in terms of the results that you're seeing from your students and staff.
And Rob, being your superintendent yourself, when you have county commissioners around the table having those kind of work together, and then when you go ask them for funding to support these core belief or this shared responsibility that we came up with together. So it was really easy process. And my commissioners have been really great because they respect the work that we're doing. And looking at the strategic plan, they were a part of that process as well. So I think that's making really things easier.
And I love that you pointed that out, because when they have the opportunity early on to inform the work, then when, like you said, in our state, other states are a little different, but in our state, a school board does not have taxing authority. And so our school board has to go through the superintendent to the county commissioners to ask for funding. And so when we have that funding ask, certainly when the county commissioners believe in the work, when they've been a part of the work, that they're more likely to support the work financially and otherwise. And it's not just county commissioners, it's members of the community. To kind of circle back to where we were a little bit earlier, these parents who are choosing to bring their children to Durham Public Schools, a growth of 500 students, that's incredible. I mean, when a parent says, here's this child that I love more than myself and I love more than anything else, and I'm going to trust you in this moment to educate my child, that's the ultimate compliment, isn't it?
Definitely. Again, I'll say this, it was a really team effort for us to be able to see that kind of growth. You know, early on when I came in my first 90 days, I was able to have different town hall meetings, and we're able to engage those parents and those families as well, even the one that did not believe in DPS or Durham Public Schools. So just having that transparency, acknowledging all the strengths and all the weaknesses that we had as a school system. And I think they felt pretty good to be able to join us and have this journey together.
Absolutely. And it shows. It shows. Well, Pascal, you've been described, and I think aptly so, as a transformational leader. And you've shared that you're guided by 4 principles. And so I kind of want to step through those 4 principles. I'll share them with you one at a time and allow you to just kind of talk around them and how it guides your work today as we're working through this pandemic and the challenges we have. And so in transformational leadership, you're guided by your 4 principles. And the first is raising the bar for the level of performance through high expectations. How does that continue to guide your work, Pascal?
I'm telling you, Rob, my folks across the district, they pretty much understand the 4 pillars that we have. We cannot do work without really strongly believing in our babies. believing in our students. That's one that's, as you know, that's pretty much a non-negotiable. And they understood early on when I came in, I said, look, I know where we are as a district, but we're going to raise the bar. We're going to have high expectations for our students, regardless of the zip code, regardless of where they live. We have to believe in these babies. And I have to believe in the staff that's they're going to carry this particular task. And I believe in my staff, and I equip them and I empower them, and I delegate responsibilities, and I know that they're going to do the right thing to make sure that we're raising the bar from teachers, bus drivers, cafeteria workers, and all the way to the deputy superintendent. So that has been our expectation, and they know that the bar has to be risen.
Absolutely. And that foundation around our beliefs, not only in our students, but our staff and our community is just crucial and critical for success. Pascal, that second principle or pillar is provide outstanding support through a service-oriented approach to schools, teachers, parents, etc. Tell us about that service-oriented approach.
I think that flows really well. You know, there's a superintendent as a leader as well. You can go to a place and expecting great things, but if you do not provide support, it's not going to happen. Right. Coming to Durham Public School, I know we had excellent teachers. We had amazing teachers. We had amazing school administrators as well as central office folks. But still, there were some areas that folks really needed support to be able to get to the next level and to be able to accomplish whatever our mission was. So I strongly believe once you raise the bar, the second thing, you have to provide support. Support needs to go from central office, school leaders, all the way to cafeteria workers. You have to show them. Don't just throw somebody out there, say, I want you to drive the bus. I want you to cook, without any kind of training or appropriate support so that the person will be successful. So we've been doing that kind of work. We've been training our teachers. We've been training our school administrators and every opportunity we get. And as a result of that, that's why they were able to deliver for us.
Well, you know, and I would think, Pascal, when somebody's offering me that kind of support, whether my job is to swing a mop or cook a meal or drive a bus or teach a child, I'd run through a wall for that leader, right? That leader who believes in me, who supports me. I'm ready to go, 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 go. This third pillar or third principle, though, is the one that sometimes when a superintendent talks about I operate by believing in our folks, that they somehow think that maybe this third pillar isn't present, but it absolutely is. And it is important. And that third pillar or third principle is hold everyone accountable in their roles and responsibilities for increasing student achievement. So that piece about holding folks accountable, talk to us about that.
Rob, I've been preaching this every principals meeting. I always reminded our folks about those 4 pillars. And accountability, as you said, is not the most popular one. Folks don't want to hear it. Right. And even talking to Chamber of Commerce and other business places that I attended when I was invited as a guest speaker, anytime I mention about accountability, folks are like, ooh, he may not fly really well here. And I said, we're not going to be able to do work without really holding folks accountable. That's right. And that accountability starts with superintendent. And my board knows that if I'm not performing or if I'm not doing what I promised them to do, there's no reason for me to be holding on to that seat. And that accountability starts for me. And I have to really to make sure that I'm working with a heart to accomplish what I promised my board, what I promised our community to do. And my principals and my central office folks, they all know that I hold them accountable, and I make sure that evaluations is done properly. And folks got to sit down at the beginning of the year and establish whatever goals they want to accomplish through a work plan. In the middle of the year, folks got to be given feedback how to make adjustments so that they won't be surprised at the end of the year. Then at the end of the year, that's the time you got to sit down and say whether or not you were able to accomplish your goal. So accountability is not a matter of just say, I don't like what you're doing, you have to leave. No, accountability means you provide support, you set up goals together, and along the way, you're having those conversations so that the person at the end of the year will not be surprised. So it's worked really well. Rarely you're going to get to the end of the year, a person was not able to meet their goal. Again, if you get to that point after a year of support and things are not working, that's the time that you're going to have those critical conversations. And my folks know me that I don't really shy away from my former superintendency to the current one, and they know that I hold folks accountable. And my principals know that I hold them really accountable. And for that reason, I think they're delivering for us.
So if we start with this high expectations, we're offering support and we're holding folks accountable, then there's no reason we don't get to the fourth principle. And I know we do because I've seen it happen. And the fourth principle is celebrating successes along the way. So talk to us about the importance of celebrating successes.
That's really dear to my heart when it comes to celebrating with our folks. But before I comment on that particular piece, let me give our listener a little bit of background about Durham Public Schools. We have 33,000 students. 81% of our students are students of color, and 19% are Caucasian. We have 65% of our students that are qualified to free or reduced lunch price because of whatever poverty formula that we use. So yes, Durham is financially, Durham's doing really well, but the student that we serve in Durham, when we're talking about 65 free and reduced lunch, it does not mean that they're really affluent students. So that's not an excuse for us. And when my experience dealing with minority students, some of our students do not work for free. They work and looking for something. And most of the time, we wait till we give these students a report card, or we got to celebrate them for graduation and things of that nature. But I always preach this to our principals. We have to celebrate every little milestone along the way.
Yes.
That's some kind of incentive that is going to motivate them to continue doing the right thing. Then at the end of the year, it won't be a surprise. When I came in one year, I was able to fund some extra funds in our budget. I was able to give every student $20. If you times that by $33,000 and 33,000 students, it was roughly close to $800,000 I was able to give to schools. I say, look, if you have 2,000 students, you're getting $20 per student. That's about $40,000 that you have in your general funds to be able to use just to be able to celebrate students. So celebration is really important to me, and especially when you're dealing with a student of color. A lot of them have seen a lot of disappointment in their life. They don't have a good role model in their families. For that reason, when you have ways to be able to celebrate every little milestone with them, I think is going to go a long way, and I've never been disappointed. And it has worked for me.
And there's no question, it's working for you, and it is working for Durham Public Schools. There are so many things to celebrate in the school system there. And one of the things that I'll tell you I celebrate is my friendship with you and being able to call you colleague. From the smile you share as you walk into the room to the wisdom that you share in our superintendent's meetings. Pascal, I appreciate you so very much, my friend, and very much appreciate this time with our listeners. Congratulations on the amazing work you're doing, and certainly we'd encourage you as you continue going forward. There are many, many, many opportunities to continue celebrating the success of Durham Public Schools. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for all you do for our state and impacting the life of our students in our state as well. You're a great leader. Appreciate it.
Thank you, buddy. I hope that you enjoyed our time today with Dr. Mubenga. I absolutely loved hearing his 4 principles. As he said, we have to raise the bar for the level of performance through high expectations, provide outstanding support through a service-oriented approach, hold everyone accountable in their roles and responsibilities, and celebrate success along the way. Clearly, these 4 principles and his transformational leadership approach are reaping dividends for the children of Durham County. My friends, Thank you for spending time with me today, and thank you for all that you do for every student, every teacher, and every staff member. You are making a difference. If no one else has told you, I want you to know that I believe in you. Good day.
Thank you for listening to the EdLeader podcast. Please subscribe to the podcast and consider leaving a review with 5 stars on Apple Podcasts so that we may continue to grow the EdLeader community. We hope that you have enjoyed your time with Dr. Jackson. Until next time.